Go E. Man, the Cream Royale Betis, I've said it before today, I'll say it again. They must be so happy with this pickup because he has exceeded expectations, I think, that anyone set for him this season.
Completely, including, I don't want to speak for you, but including myself. I did not expect Diego E to be as big of an integral part of CRL 2020. He is so important. He is the same level as any other superstar in the game because of what he's done for Cream.
So, Mortar for Diego E.
And now he's just trying to win me over.
Wall breakers for Mortar. Yeah, now he's just trying to play to the crowd here. Mortar Miner. The bats might have been a bit of an overcommitment there. Realize, not keeping in mind the bomb tower does have a death bomb. So 2 elixir there, kind of thrown away.
Miner 2, yep, right on top of that Musketeer. Skelly's to surround, but wall breakers on the right-hand side. And Rich, that's exactly what you're talking about with that 2 elixir being wasted. There's 2 elixir he needed to defend.
And you see it was just a little bit of a elixir disadvantage, and now we're all even, but with Morten having a significant advantage in damage.
And there's a reason why Morten loves these wall breaker decks so much. Not only is it just a lot of quick damage, is that something that Morten likes, quick cycle that he likes, but the biggest thing about it is watching his opponents make mistakes in elixir preservation. He'll do it over and over again. You'll see him send in wall breakers to the opposite lane, send him in naked, send him in supported for things like this. A double connection.
Wow, that entire sequence was absolutely beautiful. Maybe we'll take a look at that one in our replays. Getting the Miner onto the Musketeer, the Skellies go for the surround, but able to make up enough room that that Miner's still alive to tank for the wall breakers.
And this is what we're talking about, the hypo-aggressive play here from Morten, especially getting into double elixir time, but he's going to be relentless. Miners are going to come in, wall breakers are going to go opposite lane. A great catch, though, there by Diego.
But wall breakers are the opposite side here one more time, and sometimes it's for a connection, sometimes it's for pressure, and this time Diego E does not relent to that pressure, realizes that the game is on the left-hand side, and in that situation had to give up the damage on the right.
But that's the last one he gets, right? He doesn't get to keep letting these through. He has to start defending them because all of a sudden when you have both your towers low playing against wall breakers, you're in a world of hurt. So one thing that I'm surprised Diego E hasn't done is maybe use his mortar a little bit more defensively in the middle of the map, not only to help with the wall breakers, but also to help with other units crossing the river like the spear goblins.
So here we go, Knight played on defense by Diego E, and a Miner does get some more damage, only about 500 behind, so not an insurmountable lead, but there is dual lane pressure right now from the German.
Yeah, and you see that bridge battle going out, you know, Skellies, Zap, Snowball, Bats, all that being played just so this Knight can cross the river.
And this high mortar does get a connection, so every time that happens, you get one shot from a mortar and you've gotten what you really needed from that mortar as long as it plays defense.
And that's what I'm talking about. You get that high mortar in the center, not only do you add a little bit of offensive pressure, but you've got a great amount of defensive presence on the map. You see right there, wall breakers go to it, helps the Miner on the back of the tower, pulls the Knight in on the left-hand side. This is something Diego should have done much earlier in this matchup.
Yeah, that's going to be it, though. You see Morten recognizing the skeletons are out of cycle, goes Miner to the back, knowing there really is nothing there to play defense and catch it, and he gets the game win. Huge one for Morten. 1 down, 2 to go.
1 down, 2 to go. That is very, very correct, my friend. And surprisingly, we're going to see Pedro, I believe, pop into the second game number 4. And kind of just to piggyback on your thought there, Rich, that was the first time in the Bren Chong Cup where I was really familiarized with Pedro. And the people that I saw him take out and the way that he did it was absolutely jaw-dropping. I was so excited that he was going to be here at CRL West 2020. I was just hoping he was going to make it. And now that he's here, and now we've seen him play, he is not disappointed.
Pedro with the defensive Miner. Look at that sequence. Knew that he had to stop the wall breakers high. Defensive Miner. Brilliant, brilliant work from Pedro to keep that damage off town.
And so this is interesting because I'll be honest, I don't think I want to play wall breakers against Morten playing wall breakers. He seems to be a guy that's usually got the advantage when it comes to this archetype, but we'll see. Pedro maybe looks at it and goes, I can play this better than you, and we're not looking at a mirror matchup, so we'll see which wall breakers come out on top.
One thing I am curious about, Andrew, is the way this Fisherman comes into play. You know, if you start seeing Morten run certain types of defenses against the wall breakers, can the Fishermen come in and maybe disrupt some of that defense as time goes on? It seems like it might be a little slow, but the key for Pedro might be some good defenses with the Fishermen and then timing some of these pushes as the Fisherman moves across the bridge.
A 100% agreement with you there. I think the Fisherman to stop wall breakers pushes is going to be a big thing for Pedro, and then turning that into a counter push. That being said, Morten knows that Fisherman can completely stop his wall breakers and turn something into a counter, so he's probably not going to allow that to happen by pouring more down at the river with those wall breakers.
Log really not doing what Pedro wanted, I think, in that situation. So here we go. The Fisherman now going to run right into the Knight. They're pulling back over, and wall breakers now come in behind.
Yeah, high bats there. Going to make that an easy cleanup, and should not provide enough protection here for the Fisherman.
Miner bats right-hand side, and Fisherman again trying to pull this Miner into a position. So far, that's 2 Fisherman pulls that maybe look like they're intending not just to pull the Miner, but maybe turn it into a King Tower activation. Neither one getting it done. I don't know if I haven't played the new Fisherman at this range in so long. I don't remember if it actually activates the Miner at this stage.
Yeah, and you see here the poison finally coming out for Pedro, running basically Miner poison control with them. Obviously the wall breakers in there, and he's going to start doing that a lot more. He's going to start going with the Miner poison in, because the responses that Morten has, if the Knight's not in play, it's all poisonable.
So another defensive Miner play here from Pedro to tank a bit for those small DPS troops.
Does get one little bat bite therein, but Pedro probably wishing he had that Miner to turn into offense with those bats, but had to use it defensively.
Here we go, sudden death overtime. Morten slightly ahead, but by a margin that can change in the blink of an eye.
And you see there Morten going with the log, looking to catch the skeletons that he thought Pedro might play. Pedro, though, doing the very intelligent thing and changing up his defense, making it very hard for Morten to land any sort of predictive play, which is something he's really known for.
So Hunter still alive on the board, but Morten starting to pull ahead on Elixir, so you see starting to pour it on the right-hand lane. Miner goes to the high inside corner to make some room for this push to come on through, and that's a double wall breakers connection.
Both wall breakers connect, and the Miner is now out of cycle, along with the Spear Goblins coming through. Morten gonna even things up, and all of a sudden, you find yourself in a winner-take-all best of one with Morten and Belican, and that is not a position I want to be in if I'm Cream.
Splitting things up one more time, and this time the Miner gets eaten up by the Fisherman and Bats. Miner poison opposite direction. We are triple Elixir. Opposite direction, Wallbreaker pressure on the left-hand side from Morten.
Wallbreaker connects again on the left-hand side. 843 and 480 to 1251 and 2046. Morten giving a lot of log value.
The left-hand lane. This is a lot of value coming the right-hand side of Royal Delivery. After that, should clean it up nicely. There you go. Miner on the tower, 200 HP on the right-hand side.
Wallbreakers go left again. Spear Goblins support the right-hand side. Miner back in once again. Not. Yes, it is picked up by those skeletons, but the log comes in. We are going to game 5.
755 on the top-hand side. That's a lot of poison value. This Miner gets caught one more time. Andrew, it's going to be 2 more logs here for Morten. He's trying to close this thing out, but he's up against poison. The Miner gets on tower. Does his Miner get on tower as well? No, the skeletons pick it up. 231. That's going to be it. Morten does finally close it out. Pedro made that a
World
game.
Finals last year, looking to stay alive for SK.
These two know each other very well. They've seen each other a lot competitively over the years. Both top-tier players, both in competitive and ladder. Personal best for Morten, above 8.6. For Belican, above 8.5.
He's doing it. He's what is it called? Ice Rocket? Nope, not going to be Rocket. But it's... Okay, so he's going to go Poison. It's got to be a Graveyard.
Yeah, there you go. Looking like Graveyard for Morten. For a second, it felt like it, though, didn't it?
It sure did.
First 45 seconds away, and a slightly bloodied nose on the right-hand tower of St. Belican, but that's about it.
Yeah, we've seen this combination before. When you see the Flying Machine, you see the Mega Knight, you have to think maybe we're going to see some Royal Hogs as well.
Ice Whiz at the left-hand lane. So far, it's interesting to see Morten in this situation go with a very control-based deck. Just, I want to be able to play defense and everyone will be caught out.
Yeah, you know, this deck is a pretty great response to a lot of archetypes out there. The one that we see Graveyard struggle the most against, though, is something like Expo, which I'm imagining he wasn't putting Belican on to play.
It's also interesting to see Morten go Graveyard again in a Game 5 playoff situation like this.
Yeah.
Of course, going back to that matchup between Surgical Goblin and Morten, I think that was Surgical Goblin playing bridge spam against Morten's Graveyard in that one. And you saw how close that one came out, so it seems to me Morten has a pattern here. When it's all on the line, go Graveyard.
So here we go, lot coming across the river here for Morten. Graveyard coming out finally as we get to double elixir time. And I do not think that sequence went the way the Belican thought it was going to.
No, not at all. Flying Machine gone, a pile of damage in, and Morten now with a significant lead with 45 seconds left in regulation.
That is a huge, huge lead. Cage comes out to catch all this. Couple Hogs are going to sneak through, but you have to imagine Morten probably has Tornado as well. Doesn't even feel the need to use it, though, because he has such a massive damage lead.
Here we go. Pigs do get a little bit of damage, but still not quite enough to get him back in the mix. Mega Knight sets up to the left-hand lane.
Barbarrel comes out to keep that Ice Wiz on the board. Mega Knight going to leap again on top of that. Maybe that Barbarrel was a little bit of an overspend from Morten.
Here we go. Sudden death overtime. Final game of the final set of quarterfinals. Winner goes on to face Misfits in the semis.
Yeah, and you know Misfits are watching every second of this match, trying to figure out everything they can about who they may play. Nice high poison there from Morten, going to keep that Flying Machine at bay because of the Goblin Cage, take the Flying Machine off the map. Morten's still in a very, very healthy lead.
Belican's in a good job of locking down the damage on the left-hand side. Morten does have dual lane pressure at the moment. And adds in a little King Tower activation just for good measure.
A little insult to injury there. Now going to be able to help out with the Goblin Cage. Is that King Tower activation? Mega Knight, though, crossing the river. Healthy Mega Knight. Knight comes down to meet it. Belican really, really having a difficult time creating any sort of offense other than that one hog push.
And a smart high poison here from Morten, knowing the Baby Dragon would stick all that in it and get the Flying Machine down, but now 9 elixir at the bridge.
So here we go. Barbarrel comes in, actually doesn't hit the Bandit there, so Bandit going to get picked up by the Brawler and tank for those Hogs.
Quite a lot of damage on the right-hand side, 14-19, so Belican certainly alive at the moment, sets the line high with the Cage against the Graveyard, and another good poison, this time getting some value. Flying Machine and Hogs going in the opposite lane.
Flying Machine Hogs opposite lane, but that E was maybe played a second too early on the left-hand side. A lot of damage coming in here for Morten. St. Belican, 549, but getting some damage in on that top right tower, bringing his opponent's tower to just above, or just below 1200 HP.
Final 28 seconds, Graveyard in on the left-hand lane, Goblin Cage on both sides, one preemptive, one reactive, and now we have the Graveyard trying to chip away, Skeleton's getting in, Heal Spirit goes right-hand lane, final big pig push coming for Belican, can he break through?
Here it is, you know it was coming with that high Flying Machine to take that Goblin Cage off the board. Goblin Cage back around though, looks like SK's going to the semis, Rich.
NATO to clean things up, Morten comes out with a huge reverse sweep, clutches it up in a massive moment, and you got to shake off some of those old feelings right now. Morten, the hero today for SK Gaming.
And just what an incredible display from someone that you would completely expect it from. They go back to